Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George Belmontes. I'm doing today's presentation, covering a couple topics on the types of career paths, certifications, and how to get involved as a working student. First off, I'd like to go ahead and start off with the personal disclaimer. Presentation is based on information that I gathered using multiple sources and does not necessarily reflect my employer's views in any way. So to start off, IT career paths. We've had some interest, a handful of individuals constantly asking how is it that we can get involved, how is it that we can get into the career field, how do we find an IT job. Students and working professionals looking to transition careers may feel overwhelmed when researching jobs of interest. Job requirements come in all forms, angles, and skills that candidates may not currently have, may seem far-fetched. It's important to always remain positive, regardless of skills, regardless of what the employer is asking of you. Good news is that you can achieve anything you want, but you must continue to push forward to see positive results. For instance, you may be thinking that when you finish college, you'll get hired immediately, even though this does happen for many individuals. For some people, it could become a little bit discouraging just for the fact that countless interviews, searching for that right opportunity, working with individuals, and perhaps just getting that constant no. Before you do a job search, it's important to understand what type of job you're looking for, what interests you have, what skills you have, and how these skills match up to the job title that you're actually seeking. How can this be done? There's actually a handful of tools that we can use today to go ahead and do some digging and looking for current jobs that may reflect on our personal skills or interests. We have tools such as Monster Career Builder, LinkedIn, and many more. Let's say, for instance, that you're looking for a position, and you currently have a networking degree, software development degree, or some type of database administrator degree. Now, let's say that you may also have something that's non-technical. I've seen a handful of individuals, friends, that have bachelor's degrees in a number of different fields, everything from management, even history, that have gotten into the IT field. And the reason for getting into the field is a number of different reasons. We do see today's articles, cybersecurity industry is blowing up. Everything from administrators, security consultants, and a wide range of positions exist. The good thing is that searching multiple databases for different jobs and correlating findings can help you draw conclusions on comparing what type of interest you have compared to the type of opportunities that are currently available in your area. If you decided on a specific job, let's say, and you're only interested in doing that type of job, a key thing to do is once you research the position, it's always good to critique your current resume. You have to do that. Looking at your resume and then looking at the job skills, I have a handful of friends that are constantly out there looking for a career of interest, and they just send a regular resume. And by regular, I mean their current professional working resume. If you were going to send this, let's say that you were looking for a security position, and you sent that resume including the cover letter, but it was detailing some type of networking opportunity that you are now interested in, it's not going to match correctly. So I always try to advise friends, family, whoever it may be, that if you are looking for a new field, if you're looking for a job, look at the requirements, look at who is hiring, do some digging into that company, and customize that resume to match up with the current job description that you're interested in. Let's see. Another thing on resumes that I've come across as well, just by reviewing basic resumes, is believe it or not, there's a handful of errors or even missing bullet points for whatever reason. Sometimes we well, when we make our own resume, we even review it. It's best practice to just have a friend, a buddy, family member to review the resume. If you can go and review it and then find anything that can be reworded, make it sound better, have that word flow process smoothly and transition from one area to another within the resume, that's going to help a lot. And the reason I say that is there's many articles, and you can find this just by doing some general searches, is that the average human resources individual, I believe, more or less scans resumes, and then they make a decision if they'll continue to read that resume within 8 or 10 seconds or so. I believe I came across the LinkedIn article that stated hiring managers making quick decisions if the resume is of interest or not. Having a friend reviewing your resume and cover letter to ask for honest feedback is a great way to look at critique. It gives you also an opportunity to see what you've missed. Next time, it even helps identify areas on how you missed it, why you missed it, and it gives you the opportunity to go and fix that mistake before you post it live or submit it to a hiring manager. You may be asking yourself what type of jobs are out there that may be of match with your current degree. So let's say that a degree in the IT field, let's say networking degree, and that networking degree can open a handful of doors. There are curtained with just a networking degree in general, or even a cybersecurity degree. You can look for a number of positions on Monster, and this is just general homework. It's always nice to go ahead and do some digging, some recon on the type of positions that are available, and just read over the requirements just to see if it's of interest or if it's a certain field that you're looking to get into. For instance, there's a handful of jobs currently. I just did a basic search before I started this webinar. There are application analysts, there's business analysts, there's data analysts, there's database administrators, game developers, information system managers, IT consultants, multimedia programmers, SEO specialists, system analysts, developers, web designers, excuse me. So these are just basic jobs that I did a search on, and some of these positions that I did, I went ahead and did some digging around with on the Forbes webpage, and I used specific tags to go ahead and find what type of positions they're currently hiring for, or what are the hot topics that are coming in our industry. So, for instance, one of the certifications that I used was to identify positions related to CISSP, and some of these jobs came up. Not saying that each and every one of these jobs requires a certification as a in CISSP, but this was definitely an eye opener in reference to the comments that I technically hear from a handful of individuals stating that there's not a lot of jobs out there in the industry, or it's hard to find a specific job for whatever reason. Another topic that's hot right now, considering all the threats that's been going on a national and global related way. We currently, I've currently been seeing more and more stories related to digital forensics, e-discovery, processing information, working with evidence, and taking the necessary steps and protocols to verify an incident happened, and acquire and to process information. So, for instance, let's say that you currently have a degree or looking for a degree in the forensics area, computer forensics. What type of jobs exist in that area? Same thing. I went ahead and used Monster this morning, Career Builder, LinkedIn, and I've also looked at other news sources such as Forbes, TechCrunch. There's a Discovery, Forensic Mag. There's a number of different sources. So just to give you a heads up on the type of positions that you can look for or see that are growing within the security industry as a forensics major, excuse me. is a cyber investigator. You can apply for positions with the as special agents with a number of federal agencies. Such degree also gives you opens doors for digital forensics analysts, e-discovery specialists, lab managers, educators, cybersecurity incident responders, analysts, computer security, network security analysts. So the range is across the board. It really depends on what area you're trying to get into or what interests you. When I was going through my associate's degree and my bachelor's degree, I had a tendency of grabbing material and trying to learn everything. Once I got into the working field and I started doing my job, I noticed that even though it's important to have broad knowledge on technical scopes, it's also important to master something. It's also important to be good at maybe a number of different things, but it's very hard to be very good at or a master at a number of different things. So technical skills, let's say that your technical skill may not be very strong, but you'd like to get an IT career path. You can definitely work in the IT field. There are many jobs that require project managers, customer service reps, application managers, team leads, and much more. So if you're looking to get into some type of in a job that requires some type of technical attributes and your technical abilities are not that strong at the moment, these other positions may open pathways for managerial type positions, team leads, that can later transition into something more technical or into something that you're looking for. Topic that I also hear from time to time is that getting into the IT world of cybersecurity is a very hard area, and not everybody will hire you without experience. This may be true in many cases, but the fact is that we can get involved in a number of different ways. The same job sites used for career searches can be used to identify volunteer opportunities. Some of you may think, how does volunteer reference current working, or how does it look on paper? Volunteering is actual work experience. For instance, if a nonprofit organization is looking for volunteers to help with some type of IT project or managing IT systems, updating systems, working with a certain database, creating a website, modifying a website, working with storage devices, whatever it may be, if you do find a nonprofit organization within your area, you can definitely ask if they are looking for internships or even just volunteer in general. A lot of organizations in your area can include everything from any type of business organization. If it's some type of business enterprise, most likely they will have computer systems. A lot of these individuals work remotely, some of them don't. If they do, it's another way that you can actually engage yourself, engage your skills, assist with offsite storage, give ideas, help that business with ways on managing their technical equipment. So, for instance, find a nonprofit organization that's looking for volunteer in these operations. You can use Monster. This morning, same deal. I did a search using Monster Career Builder, and I believe just some general search strings used on LinkedIn to go ahead and find volunteering opportunities. The good thing about the good thing about volunteering with organizations and showcasing your skills is that it gives you, one, the opportunity to strengthen relationships with the nonprofit organization. It also gives you ways to network at their job functions and engage yourself with other members of that organization. And organization, again, it can be all backgrounds. When the volunteering position is over, or the tasks, let's say, the neat thing about establishing these relationships and then continuing on into your job search is that you can use these volunteer opportunities and ask for references from the organizations. And then some of these nonprofit organizations, regardless of size, can hold an impact on the reference letter, especially if the, let's say, job that you're applying for is in the area and somebody from such organization knows the organization, And who knows, if you attended a networking event, you probably ran into some of these people yourself. So getting letters of recommendation and or reference letters from these jobs is a great way for you to showcase your experience and to get those reference letters for the next job that you'll be applying for. Another thing that I keep hearing around the area, and this was true in my sense as well, when I transitioned from full-time student, well, I'm still a full-time student, so transition from going to school and finding a job, is that everywhere, before I even started applying, everywhere that I looked at was everybody wanted some type of background, some type of let's say certification. And then when you jump on the internet and just start looking at certifications in general, certifications are all over the board. I think that it's important to plan ahead as far as what type of certification you want. I had a friend that was looking at a number of certifications and started studying for one, acquired a certification, moved on to the other, acquired that certification. But then experience on the certification is kind of broad. At the end, time goes on, you have to maintain those certifications, regardless of letting them lapse. If you no longer had interest in that certification, you have to retake the certification. Or another way would be is engaging in CP credits, attending a number of different events to get the CP credits that will validate and continue that certification active. Some certifications that are important in today's security industry, not just touch base off two of them here. There's a number of different certifications, a number of different industries that are known across the globe, actually, and anything in those areas would be great to get. But some of these certifications that are industry known and almost at standard when it comes to entering the security field is certification administered by ISE Squared, which is the CISSP. It's the Certified Information System Security Professional. This certification takes some time to get for new students who are trying to get into the field. It's important that you dig into the certification and look at all requirements before even looking to take the certification. Also, there's a time frame on experience that you need, so definitely do some research on that certification. The certification is challenging but very rewarding. Such job titles that I also found this morning just doing some basic searches with CISSP. Not limited to, but I found many as a security consultant, security manager, IT director, security auditor, security architect, security analyst, security systems engineer, chief information security officer, director of security, network architects, and many more. So I went ahead and did some searches with Forbes as well, just to look at the general overview as far as what's happening in the community in today's industry and within the last few months. So this search was use some strings using past 3 months to go ahead and find the most recent information. And I'd encourage everyone watching this this series to go ahead and do some general search on CISP certification. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure how many attended, but we had a webinar June, I'm thinking second week in June, maybe the first week in June. We had a webinar where we had an CISSP instructor from ISE Square do a presentation on the actual certification. It was a 1-hour webinar, and it covered a number of different topics on the certification, things to look out for, the cost, how to get reimbursed if you're present, previous or active military. There's a handful of programs. The exam is lengthy, so you have to understand the hours it takes to finish the exam. But it was definitely a great webinar to attend. Another certification that is hot within the ISE Square community is the Certified Cyber Forensics Professional. So this certification is for dealing with cyber incidents related to digital forensics. A forensics investigation can take place in either a criminal or corporate proceeding. Investigations range everything from DDoS attacks, network intrusions, tracking malware, dealing with incidents related to spam campaigns, phishing attacks, you name it. What's the general consensus on such certification? If you're looking to become a forensics professional, it's important to start looking at tools and researching what type of tools help with the discovery process. That way, when you're looking for positions in the field or positions that you may be interested in, even though the job or the career aspect of digital forensics is very new, it's evolving rapidly, and it's something that security professionals are working in tandem with to address security incidents. So, for instance, you have a cybersecurity background, an incident happens, you're investigating the incident, you're looking at processes or ways that the incident happened, you go through the reporting process, the discovery process, documentation, key. So if you are interested in getting into forensics area, documentation is very important. They always say over document is better than under document. So if you like writing, documentation and the digital forensics field may be a good avenue for you to get into. I actually took a steep interest in the digital forensics area, and currently working on a master's in forensics and cyber investigations. So the content itself is very technical. It covers laws, policy, techniques, process, procedures, international conflicts, e-discovery, and much more. Career titles is another thing that I want to go ahead and cover in this session. The hardest thing I found when going through an associate and bachelor degree is carving out a career path that I wanted, or that I was attempting to pursue. This is not always the easiest thing, but it becomes challenging. It can become discouraging, depending on how many applications or whatever it may be that you went through. There are many hurdles that students and individuals must overcome when getting into the cybersecurity field, but understanding that nothing is ever easy, and achieving anything can be done while remaining persistent, positive. Positive attitude really takes you a long way. Even though it's easier said than done, it is not impossible. Getting involved is a huge factor. I noticed that getting involved in my time with as a student and trying to get into the industry was key, just for the fact that I did engage into professional conversations. I got to meet individuals in my area, leading industries, you name it. I got to see presentations, technical conflicts or challenges that may be happening in the area, or even challenges on the horizon. So getting involved is key. We have to get involved to improve our technical skills and to grow professionally. Many organizations exist, host events across the United States. Some organizations, for instance, are ISSA, Information System Security Association, which is a nonprofit organization for the information security professional committed to promoting effective cybersecurity on a global basis. They hold many events throughout the year. I volunteered at the event in Chicago. I volunteered at a number of cybersecurity events. If for the working students, or for even just students in general, some of these events may be costly. They range everything from free events to $100 to $200, $300 to attend. So a good way to get involved with these events is reach out to committee members, reach out to the organization itself, and then just ask if there's any opportunity for you to volunteer, if there's anything that you can do. And volunteering can be anything from getting a layout of the venue, and then just showing individuals where to go, handing out information, material, processing entrance fees, or whatever it may be. A number of different things you can do. ISAC is another company that you can get involved with, another organization. It's an independent association that advocates for professionals involved in information security governance, risk management, and governance. So they too hold networking events throughout the year. I've actually reached out to this organization in the past and have volunteered and attended a handful of their events. They usually hold a number of different areas. They have different chapters, so you can actually request, if you're a member, request to go to their membership meetings. You get to meet a lot of great people, a lot of knowledgeable people, and presentations are very nice. Sometimes the presentations may be over the top as far as technical boundaries that you have or background in, but nevertheless is always interesting. And in technology industry, you have to understand, we have to understand that it's always evolving, and learning something new is a given. We have to continue to evolve. We have to continue to learn. Another great organization that I came across with and have been a member of quite some time already. It's actually benefited me in many ways. I've volunteered at with this organization as well. Met a lot of great people. It's InfraGard. InfraGard is a partnership between the FBI and members of the private sector. The InfraGard program provides a vehicle for seamless public-private collaboration with government that expedites a timely exchange of information and promotes mutual learning opportunities relevant to protecting critical infrastructure. So, they have thousands of vetted members nationally. InfraGard membership includes business executive, entrepreneurs, military and government officials, computer professionals, academia, and state and local law enforcement, each dedicated to contributing industry-specific insight and advancing national security. Great organization to get involved in, a lot of great perks. They have chapters throughout the United States, and it's definitely something you can look at. Organization, again, is InfraGard. Finally, as director of NCSA, I am inviting professionals in the industry to reach out to me. Looking for students to engage ideas and webinars that they'd like to see, and looking for professionals in a wide area of background to showcase an IT presentation that will benefit our members at the NCSA. So my role, I was recently appointed as the director of the National Cybersecurity Student Association. So my current task is to assist and help bring content to our members. So if there's anybody out there watching this today that is interested in doing a webinar or interested in reaching out to our members, showcasing some type of digital aspect or digital security tool, we'd be more than happy to go ahead and facilitate that engagement. Please comment on this video, any ideas, feedback, whatever it may be. I'll be more than happy to reach out. I'll provide my contact information when I reach out, as far as email address. We can keep communication going that route. For the students, though, for any student that is looking for new ways of engagement, as far as what do you want to see, what is something that you're working on that's maybe challenging, what is something that you're working on that you want to see next month or even this month as a webinar, or do you want to see some type of security professional conduct some type of presentation? Let us know. We have a large database, large member database. We have a handful of contacts that are always and professionals always willing to share knowledge. In this industry, we have to share knowledge. We have to share knowledge with each other. Like I said earlier, it's constantly evolving. So if you got into the technology industry thinking that, hey, college is over, time to work and not learn anymore. At least that was my perception many years ago. I found it the hard way that college is never over, learning is never over. And in the security field or technology field of any area that you choose, you will always keep learning. So even after you're done with your bachelor's degree, your associate's degree, your master's degree, it doesn't matter. Even after you're done, from this point forward, if you want to get into the IT security industry, it's going to be a lifelong learning experience. So anybody interested in doing some type of webinar, please reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to introduce the presentation to our members of NCSA. Other than that, this seems like a quick session. If there's any questions or comments, I'll go ahead and take a look here if there's anything that you'd like to ask. But other than that, I'll go ahead and give this a moment, and if there isn't any questions that I can answer for you guys, like for you guys, have a great weekend and enjoy the 4th. So I'll just hang tight here. All right, so I'm not seeing any comments here. Other than that, this video will go live, NCSA Facebook. Please feel free to share the content, and again, comment if you guys want to see anything. We'll be more than happy to go ahead and engage our members and technology professionals to showcase a webinar that will be of knowledge and great experience for you guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you.